I was recently at a networking event, and the person who was speaking said, as women, we are taught that we have to prove ourselves. And in this moment, it took me right back to an interaction I had with my college professor. She asked to speak with me after class, and I kind of had that nervous feeling in my chest like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? Because I was getting good grades, I was showing up to class on time, I was actively involved in the campus community. So I thought, oh, there's nothing wrong, Kim, there's nothing wrong. And when she sat down, she asked me, Kim, why are you trying so hard to prove yourself? And that immediately felt like a punch to the stomach because I didn't realize that that's what I was doing, at least from an outward perspective. I knew probably subconsciously from an internal perspective I was because of the experiences that I had growing up. I was in an abusive relationship with my high school boyfriend for 5.5 years, and he would always tell me that if I left him, no one would ever want me because my body was disgusting and I would be alone. And I believed him in the moment. And so I stayed way longer than I should have because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to have to face the fact that he could possibly be right. And so then after I left him, I was out all the time trying to get the validation from other people that I was pretty and attractive and that they would want to date me. And then I got that out of my system and when I met my husband, but I didn't realize that it was continuing to show up in different places of my life. So it was showing up in my teaching career because I thought in my mind that I was going to be nominated Teacher of the Year, and that didn't happen. And so then I thought, oh my gosh, Kim, you're not doing a good job. You need to do better. And I would pour more of my heart and soul into my lesson plans. I would spend more money on the things for my classroom, the decorations, the games, the books, you name it, and I would do it. And the validation never came. No one ever said like, oh my God, Kim, you're an amazing teacher, aside from my two colleagues who were also teaching in the same grade level as me. But I thought that there would be this big, huge fanfare like, yay, Kim, you're amazing. And it didn't happen. And then, leaving my teaching career was a blow because I didn't think that that was going to happen. And so then I was home with my kids and, the house was clean, the laundry was done, it was put away. There was dinner on the table every night for Pete. And, he would thank me for dinner. He would say things like, oh, you look like you had a great time with the girls today, but there was like no marching band playing in the driveway, celebrating my praises of keeping my kids alive and putting food on the table and making sure that the house was clean. There was no one there doing that for me. And so in the back of my mind, I had convinced myself that I wasn't doing a good job because there were times where I wasn't patient and I would lose my mind and I would yell at my kids because it would take 5 times of asking them to put their shoes on before they would finally do it. Or they wouldn't clean up the toys the first time I asked them. It would take 8 times of asking them to clean up the toys. And so I had this unrealistic idea of how to get my worth validated. I thought that I needed other people to tell me how amazing I was. I needed other people to tell me I was beautiful and smart and good at what I did, and I couldn't do it for myself. And so that set me up to be in this place where I just pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and tried and tried and tried and tried and became a perfectionist, overachiever, people pleaser, more than I had ever been in my entire life. And I was secretly dying inside because I was miserable. I was looking for this validation that never came. And the harder I pushed, the harder I worked, it didn't come. And so what I didn't realize is that I couldn't get it from someone else. I had to get it from me first. Because on the off chance I did get it from someone else, I would dismiss it. I didn't believe it because I didn't believe it coming from me. So how could I believe it from someone else? And so it really just set me up to almost push myself to this point of failure because nothing I did nothing ever felt good enough. And I didn't understand why and how to change it. And so, I know that there are things that I didn't just wake up one day feeling like I wasn't worthy. It was things that happened throughout my whole life, things that happened in childhood, things that happened in adolescence, things that happened as a teenager, and then things that continue to happen as an adult. And so when you think you've got one battle won, there's something else popping up in the back of your mind. And so I came to a place where I realized I am a good mom because my girls do well in school. My girls behave in public. 90% of the time, my kids listen to me. They are respectful, not just to Pete and me, but to each other and to their peers and to community members and family members. So there are a lot of things that I can look at in my personal life and say like, okay, yes, Kim, you are worthy, you are loved, you are enough. But I think subconsciously, because I left my teaching career only after 6.5 years from burnout, I've told myself professionally I'm not enough. And so I've fallen into this trap of feeling like I have to prove myself as a coach or a healer, because I look around and I see other coaches and I see other healers who are saying things like, oh, I have like all of these 5-star reviews, or I've helped 800,000 plus people in over 200 countries. You know, it's always about saying what they've done. And I'll say, a very metrics based way. And so when I made the decision to be a coach, to have this business of being a coach and a healer, I kind of naively thought like, I've made the journey happen for myself. So, you know, it's kind of like Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. And that's not how the online world works. And so I had fallen into the trap of looking at social media metrics to determine if my business was a success. Like, oh, I didn't get 1,000 views on this post. I did it wrong. Oh, I didn't, get that client after that discovery call. Oh, I only did 1 session with that client and they said they wanted 3 sessions. Something, I must not be doing a good job. Something is wrong. And I think we are conditioned, not just from childhood experiences, to feel like we're not enough, but I think society in general programs us to feel that way because we have social media, we have things constantly getting our attention and saying, what you're doing right now is not enough. Oh, you don't drive a high-end car? That's not enough. You don't wear designer clothes? That's not enough. You don't have a 6-figure business? That's not enough. You don't have thousands of followers, millions of followers on social media? That's not enough. And we compare ourselves to the things and the people around us, and that we use that to determine our value. We use that to determine our worth. And those are false metrics. Those are not real. That does not indicate if someone is a good person or if they're experienced or if they're knowledgeable. It just says that they know how to work the algorithm. And it says that they know how to create content with a hook and a call to action and SEO and all the things. But chances are, if you were to peel back the curtain and look into their life, they're struggling too. And so they're looking for that same validation, that same proof that they're worthy, that they're loved, that they're enough. And so we all are, because it's human nature. We don't want to feel like we don't belong. We don't want to feel loved. And so we'll do whatever it takes to get that feeling. But when we're looking for that feeling from other people and we're not able to give it to ourselves, we set ourselves up for this graspy, desperate energy. And the chances are that when we actually do get that proof, I'll say proof loosely, that we are enough or that someone sees the value in us, it doesn't feel like enough because we think like, oh, that's it? They just said thank you? Oh, they didn't, that's it? Like, it just doesn't feel enough because we've built it up into our heads that it's going to be some kind of way. And you're probably thinking like, okay, yeah, Kim, I get that, but how do you stop? Like, yeah, I can see where I'm trying to prove myself to people and to my own self, but how do I stop? I'm getting nowhere fast, but I don't know how to get off the train. There is no train stop in the near future. And so I would say the first thing that you have to do to get off this train of trying to prove yourself to others is ask yourself if you're doing things because they feel good or if you're doing things for someone to tell you how amazing you are. If you're doing something because it actually feels good, like deep down in a soul level, then keep doing it. But if you're doing something because you're waiting for someone to say, yay, good job, then it's probably not the best thing for you to do, especially because you have no control over whether or not someone's going to say good job or I see you or I value you or you are enough or you are loved. Like, there's no guarantee that that's going to happen if you keep showing up looking for that external validation, if you're showing up doing something with an outcome attached to it. And so it's hard because half the time we're probably not even aware that we're doing that. And so this is where we have to take a moment and just say, why am I doing this? And, if you're doing something because it lights you up, great, keep doing it. But if you're not, don't. So like, I love doing crafts and being creative. I have to feel good about doing a project and then I'll do it. If it's something that I think I'm supposed to do, it's not happening. So, Like, I love making my kids Halloween costumes. I don't do that for anyone to say, wow, you're an amazing mom. I do that because I love making the Halloween costumes, and I literally just make it up as I go along. I don't have a strong skill set with the sewing machine. I don't know how to make patterns, but I look online, I look for inspiration, and then I allow myself to do it. That feels good, and I do that because it lights me up, not because I'm looking for someone to say, you're an amazing mom. And so I know that I can keep doing that. Now, if I was doing it for validation from someone else, then that should stop. And so the other thing you have to do is ask yourself, if you would go to the lengths that you are, regardless of what others will think. If the answer is no, you are not willing to go the distance the way that you currently are. If someone does not validate you or give you that atta girl or atta boy that you're looking for, then you should stop. You should stop doing that. And it's time to reevaluate and change your plan. You have to decide what would be enough to make you feel proud, to make you feel complete, to make you feel accomplished, and then start there. Because if we continue to show up from this place of like, oh, I'm gonna do this because someone might tell me I'm doing a good job, and we like kill ourselves in the process of it, and then that congratulations, good job never comes, it makes us feel resentful and bitter and angry, and then we just try even harder. So it sends us even farther down the spiral, and we become more, defeated and lost and have a feeling of hopelessness. So, stop and check in with yourself. Does it feel good to do it? Yes, keep going. Are you doing it because you're looking for someone else to celebrate you because of it? Then you should stop. If you wouldn't do it in the way that you currently are without getting a validation or a congratulations from someone else, then you need to change paths and redirect and accommodate what you're doing, or maybe just stop in general. Because the goal is to love yourself and approve of yourself, regardless of whether or not anyone else is going to do it for you.